This is about as close to perfection as you can possibly get with just one flaw. Welcome to the Climbing Daily Friday Gear Show, and welcome to the review of the Boreal Ninja. Now this shoe, I'll be honest, I absolutely love, but it has got a few niggles that I don't quite get on with. So let's delve into this shoe and I'll give you my opinion on how it performs. Now, I haven't worn that many Boreal shoes. I was given the Mutant maybe 2 years ago and kind of loved it. It just fitted me really well. It was very high performance and at a fantastically reasonable price. So when Boreal got hold of us and said, "We've got a new Ninja, do you want to try it out?" Obviously, I was pretty psyched. So this is the shoe. As you can see, it's a slipper style design, so no closure system on this. You just slip your feet in and off you go. The last is based on the Boreal Santori model, Santori? Something like that. Another model, but sort of updated for this shoe. The rubber is Boreal's Zenith Pro rubber, which I think is really good. Very sticky, especially when smearing and on slabs. And as you can see with this shoe, super soft. You can almost put your fingers right through it. And that softness continues with the whole shoe, making it very sensitive, which is what you want from a slipper style design. There's a big toe patch on this shoe. And this is quite interesting because although it's very large, it's very thin, maybe 1 millimeter of rubber in there. And that's a bit different from other shoes I've tried. So think the Mad Rock Drone. That's got a huge toe patch, but it's thick and you can sort of shove it in and forget about it. Whereas the thinness of this allows for that extra sensitivity and movement in the top of the shoe. There's an elastic section over the top of the foot. You can see it stretching. And again, for that slipper style, you just put it in and it kind of sucks onto your foot. And it allows you to put it in easily as well, especially when it's a little bit tight. The midsole is quite interesting. As you can see, very flexible, which is perfect for overhanging boulders. And it's got this green section of rubber throughout it. This is 2 types of rubber in there, which means it molds to the arch of your foot better and helps to keep the whole downturned shape of the shoe. And this downturned aggressive style is further enhanced by the toe box. And the toe box is pre-molded into that downturned shape. So when you put the rest of the last and the rand and all that together, it keeps it downturned for longer. Quite a cool techie feature, that. Now the heel of this shoe is very interesting and it's where I don't quite get on with it, but I'll explain the thinking first. It's very round, almost bulbous in shape. And traditionally, Boreal tend to use more of a lip on their heel, so you kind of like hook that lip and then move through the movement. With the more rounded idea, what they wanted to do was to increase the flow of the climber. So you're heel hooking, you're moving through that heel hook and you carry on up the climb in one seamless rolling motion. I kind of get where they were going with it and it's a good, interesting idea. Now the shoe is made with synthetic leather compared to normal, everyday cow leather, I guess. Now, as well as being good for the vegans of this world, there are some advantages and perhaps a few disadvantages. With synthetic leather and synthetic materials within the shoe, it doesn't stretch very much. So traditionally with a leather shoe, I know some La Sportiva and 510 models I've had in the past, over the lifespan of the shoe, it will tend to stretch about half a size to a whole size. So by the end of it, it feels a little bit loose and flappy. Now a synthetic material does not stretch that much. Now I've had you guys pull me up on this before saying it does stretch, you're wrong, and you're right, it does stretch a little bit. It will have a bit of give, especially with all that sweat in the shoe, but it doesn't stretch anywhere near the amount of a leather shoe. The advantages of that is that once you've bought the size, it's not going to alter on your foot. The disadvantage is some people tend to buy a very tight shoe and then expect it to break into their foot. And the leather will mold to your foot a little better than the synthetic. So there's kind of pros and cons with that. With synthetic material, the makers at Boreal can really calculate how the shoe is going to move and stretch. Whereas a leather shoe, that's got variance within the leather itself because a cow isn't uniform throughout its entire skin. So there will be differences. So they can plan ahead and really work out how the shoe is going to perform, which is an advantage. There is an argument about breathability. So synthetic perhaps doesn't breathe as much as leather, but I mean, honestly, this is something I've personally never noticed. Perhaps if you put it into a lab and test it, maybe that'll come out. But for me, the breathability isn't really an issue between synthetic and non-synthetic. So that's kind of a lowdown of this shoe. I've been wearing it extensively over the last couple of months. So here's what I think. Now remember, with all these reviews, this is my personal opinion and it will change between people, but I find this shoe really sexy, which might sound a bit strange, but wherever I seem to wear it, people are commenting on it, they're asking what the model of shoe is. And because of that sexiness, it kind of makes me climb a little better. When I put it on, I sort of feel ready for action. It's like when I'm trying to crank on something and I fall off, it's almost like the shoe is whispering at me, just kind of like, is that all you've got? You feel, because this is a pro high-level shoe, that you can really unleash it and push yourself. Because it's a slipper, it's soft and sensitive and therefore perfect for bouldering or overhanging boulders. I don't think it works so well as a sport climbing shoe, especially outdoors. That soft rubber, for me, rolls a little bit on little limestone edges, and it feels far more secure when hooking onto overhanging holds. And with that sensitivity as well, it doesn't quite offer that support. So if you've got a longer sport climb or a multi-pitch perhaps, for me, this doesn't work as well. So keep this for your bouldering missions. Now with any kind of slipper style shoe, I'm always a little bit dubious because I have narrow feet and I have this sort of preconceived idea that it won't fit me as well. And sometimes that's true, but with this, it's a pretty good fit. This is a UK 8, usually I'm a UK 8.5/9, so it's half a size down. And my toes are very, very crimped in it, but personally, that's what I want from a high performance aggressive bouldering shoe. You can see the little lump where my toes stick up on the end. So I have used this shoe outdoors and extensively indoors, and I've been very impressed with how it's performed. You can feel every tiny nuance and bump of rock and plastic hold, and because of that sensitivity, it gives you that confidence to push off on something that doesn't really exist and move up through the climb. So love that. Where I have the issue with this shoe is the heel. And I get it, Boreal. I understand your concept. You want that rolling feel, but because of the bulbous shape, there's so much material in the end of it. You can just sort of pinch big chunks of rubber. And for me, that just doesn't work very well. Now, I have got narrow heels, and I know some of you watching won't have this problem with the shoe. For example, 510 shoes, I hate the heels on that, but I've got mates who have no idea what I'm talking about because they love it. But for me, when I heel hook with this thing, it doesn't feel bomber. It doesn't feel like it's my heel onto the rubber, onto the hold. It feels like there's a big squidge of material. And that means that sometimes I'm not sure whether my heel's on the hold properly, and I just sort of pop off. And because of the excess there, my heel tends to roll off little holds sometimes. It's got to the point where I just don't feel secure when heel hooking. Perhaps a straight heel hook, just on a hold, crank up, that's kind of okay. But anything where you're really cranking on it and you've really got like a nuanced little tension point, for me, the heel doesn't work. And it's nothing to do with the sizing. This fits me perfectly in the front, and then it's just got all this flap out the back. And that's super disappointing because I do love this shoe. And although the heel doesn't work for me, I wear it all the time. It's in my bag at the moment. So it's kind of confusing. So in conclusion, this is about as close to perfection as you could possibly get, but with that Shakespearean-esque fatal flaw with the heel. I just love it and I want to love it more, but that just stops it for me reaching that next echelon. But this is my personal feet preference. I'm sure you guys might have a different one. So do try it on, see what you think. But if you're looking for a high performance downturned shoe that is gonna last, it's durable, and it's just gonna outlast and outperform anything else you've got in your current shoe stable. The price is worth considering. It's very reasonably priced. On the EpicTV shop, it's only €109, and that is a lot cheaper than other high performance bouldering style slippers that are on the market. So if you're looking for a budget friendly option, this might be the one for you. As always, the links to this shoe is in the description below, and let me know in the comments what you think of this. Have you used it? Does it work for you? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let us know. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.